see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning. It's Thursday, November 7th, 2024, and welcome to episode 801 of the Lots Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and today I'm enjoying a another light Ethiopian in my cup from foodforestfarms.com, where you can get 10% off with discount code LOTS10, and the shipping's always free. While you're there, check out that C4 Club and think about Christmas. Think about Christmas coming up. Wouldn't it be nice to have all your Christmas gifts all bought, paid for, and ready to be shipped out when the big day comes? Check out foodforestfarms.com today. Today I'm going to be talking about gutter project. I got a little bit more going on that rainwater catchment on the random shed. I got a little bit more information about another shed possibly on its way. I'm going to talk about the Guinness Book of World Records, and I'm going to ask, why do we even know? And I got some other stories sitting there ready to talk about. First, let's head over into the coffee crew, check the live chats, find out who's hanging out, and hang out for about an hour. Good morning. Good morning. How are we all doing? Canadian Farmstead, good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning, Seattle. Good morning. Good morning, Seattle. Hola. Hola. Be careful if you speak Spanish. I saw online yesterday that if you speak Spanish, Trump's going to send you away somewhere. Don't speak Spanish anymore. English only. Good morning, John Palmer, and good day to you, sir. Reed's Rabbitry over on Noster. Thanks for popping in. Hunter, did you find your new home? Did you find your new home? What should happen here on Monday when it stops dual streaming to both YouTube channels, and I have one little spot open back up on StreamYard? Should it go back to Twitch? Where should I send it? Where should I send it again? I'm not sure. We'll have to find out soon enough. Come Monday. Let's check in with the Ducks. We got red. We are red this morning. It is what it is, guys. We bumped up pretty big on election day there, as Reed's Rabbitry says he wants me to go to TikTok. I can go to TikTok separately. I can't go to TikTok through StreamYard. It doesn't work. Different platform. And as soon as I'm able to go live on TikTok, I don't have enough followers on TikTok to go live. I need like 46 more or something like that. I was planning on setting the phone up here. Problem is, I doubt I'll make more than a show or two without TikTok shutting me down, because it seems the rules are random and very, very not conducive to me, because I don't want to have to censor what I say or say things that are close to things that are said. I watch Kyle and I watch the videos he makes and the things that he has to tiptoe around, and all the messages or the comments that get removed that I add. I just don't think it'd work out well for it. I mean, I'll try anything, but I don't think it's going to work out in the long run. You like that? Stray. I don't know if you could see that on the video. I got a fan blowing over there. It's kind of muggy and yuck here the last couple days, and just got a little breeze blowing in here. Good morning, Mike's Homestead. Thanks for stopping in. Anyway, Orange Man made the price pop. Orange Man Weird made Bitcoin price pop as he was getting elected. We were up yesterday, and I think it was like 9 to 11%, something like that during the show. And so being down a little bit, I mean, down, we're at 74,875. I think we hold on to the Sailor Duck. I think we hold on to the Sailor Duck and the Red Star Duck, and move forward a little bit. Red for democracy and Republicans and elections, and Sailor Duck to guide the ship. Sound all right with you guys? We'll ride them out another day and see what happens. I think we've been pretty firm in that lower 70s for a bit here. I think we're going to be solid. We'll hopefully teeter right there for a little bit and then take another big jump. I saw someone, Bitcoin analysts are so funny. You read an article by them and the same person will say basically nothing. I read an article talking about the election results and the probable effect on the price of Bitcoin. And basically the dude said, I could really see the price being traded at $100,000 per coin within the next couple months after the election, or I could see it at 52,000. The only thing he didn't add was or somewhere in between, because that would have been priceless. I should really fire up a blog talking about Bitcoin prices, and I'll just be like, yeah, Bitcoin's going to be $75,000 tomorrow, or it might be 60, or somewhere in between, or maybe more than 75, or maybe less. It's like, what the fuck? Oh. Canadian Farmstead says I could see the sun rising tomorrow, and probably tomorrow is going to be. I could be the spot on 100% weatherman, and but say tomorrow is going to be mostly light followed by 100% chance at dark. Just every day. Jesus. Yeah, this Ethiopian's good. The Ethiopian in my cup, guys. It's fantastic. Last night, Corey and I were pretty much done with the Amazon list that we had made. We were kind of poking through some other movies, trying to find a TV show or a movie that kind of sparked our interest that was worth watching while we had dinner, and there wasn't really anything on the list. Good morning, Seattle. Post my prognostication. I mean, I can talk about it. I can't really post it. Our message is on my phone, so I'd have to grab my phone and scroll back and read it. But basically, Brian said he's 10 to 11 months behind on his 100K prediction from the halving. Pretty sure it was 100K by the halving, and now it's likely going to happen within the next couple months. But he believes that dials in his $20-30 million Bitcoin to within a couple years, within a year either way. I think you said year either way. From what I took from what you were saying, that this mathematical spin out that's going to come out to about $1 million Bitcoin around 2030. There's a lot of shit that can happen between then and now. I don't know. I understand it's math. I understand I think there's a lot of outside forces that could really sway in the next 5 years. It is what it is. It's not an investment. That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. Do you use any Bitcoin? Does anybody use any Bitcoin? Good morning. Good morning, Seattle says go a drive a boom. I'm not sure what go a drive a boom is. And tariffs. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that could happen for sure. That's going to pressure that. Canadian Farmstead said aside from zapping, he doesn't use any Bitcoin. Reed's Rabbitry says the Mead guy at SRF. He took Bitcoin? Corey, did you know if the Mead guy took Bitcoin? Interesting. Interesting. Right. Yeah. Somebody said he did. I didn't know that he did. I so I have some feelings on using or stacking Bitcoin. Hunter says it was great because I could show Courtney the difference between on-chain and Lightning. Yeah, on-chain and Lightning is pretty interesting. It's an interesting conundrum, paradox, if you will, whether to spend or hodl your Bitcoin. Morning, take the ride. Thanks for stopping. Thanks for hanging out. Canadian Farmstead says I stack my bits and bytes. Good morning, Seattle said I just put an ad up for excavation work for Bitcoin. I get paid in Bitcoin. Somebody was talking about, you really shouldn't dox yourself, basically, that you own Bitcoin. I have public Bitcoin, guys. I own Bitcoin. I get paid in Bitcoin for selling jades. I've been blatantly open and honest about that. I do get commission when you buy a jade, when you use my link. The link is in the video description. It's in the audio description. It's on my website. You get a discount. But my commissions come in Bitcoin. In an interesting experiment, somebody asked me, well, why would you take your pay in Bitcoin? And I was thinking about that yesterday. The day before when Bitcoin was going up, and in the wallet that I received my compensation from them, which I haven't spent, that's the kicker. It was something that I signed up for to represent that it was a new thing. I didn't know if I was going to sell any. I didn't know how it was going to go. So it really didn't matter. It wasn't income that I was counting on. It was basically like a little piggy bank. And they said that that's how they paid their commissions. And I was like, well, I'll give it a try. What could go wrong? Well, I was looking at payouts, and I don't make a ton off of selling jades. That's for sure. Like quarterly, a couple $100. Not gonna save the world by any means. But I was looking it back, and I notated when I received the transaction, the quarterly payments for them, and it had been about a year since I got my first payout, and it was like $75. I just getting started and all this stuff, and so I notated it in the wallet, like what the day of value was. The reason I chose to work with Jade and I was okay with getting Bitcoin is because it's like 3x. My paycheck went up 3x. Now, because I can hold it, because I wasn't going to spend it, because it was just going to go into a wallet and sit there and accumulate, that makes sense. You could also do this with your paycheck through things like Fold, through things like Strike, through manually doing it, where you can take a percentage of your paycheck and put it into Bitcoin and let it sit there like a savings account. So my pay is just getting more for what I did, as long as I can hold on to it. And you say, well, you could have just put it in a savings account. What would my $75, if I took $75 last August and I dumped it in the highest yield savings account I could find and let it sit there and I checked the balance today, what would it be, like $75.21? It's really nice to let it go, to just let it sit there, observe what happens. It's DCAing, basically. Basically, when I got to the point where I didn't have a steady income, that was my DCA. My DCA was selling products and getting paid in Bitcoin and letting it accumulate. So give it a shot. If you're looking to wonder how to do that and how to get that set up, feel free to send me a message and I'd be happy to help you. Anyway, 100,000 in the next couple months. Brian says $1 million. Brian says $1 million in 5 years. 5 years. We'll see. But anyway, somebody's got to spend it to make it work. Hey, Pip, thanks for the zap over on Noster. 100K sooner or later. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate all the zaps over on zap.stream because basically I pay Bitcoin. I pay Bitcoin to stream there. Canadian Farmstead with the final word on the Bitcoin this morning. The Bitcoin chat, Canadian Farmstead says it's definitely going to go up if it doesn't go down. Very true. Very true. Unless it stays the same. Anyway, yesterday, jumped out to the property. I wanted to get, we got a pouring rain overnight. Not last night, the night before. Martin's and family, good morning, motherfucker, to you also. Pip says was just showing off a video clip of Matt Walsh. Is that Matt Walsh? Is that the guy that was on the Blaze and that had the two movies, the gender and the race movie come out? That Matt Walsh making fun of TikTokers losing their minds about the erection. Who got an erection? And Martin's and family says no sun there yet. Are you in the dark? Aren't you way the fuck up there somewhere where you don't get light ever in the winter? Or are you still south of the Arctic Circle? Pip says, yeah, the am I racist dude. Yeah, Matt Walsh. He's an interesting guy. I remember seeing him before he got popular. I remember the first couple of things popped up on the Blaze with him or before the Blaze, and then he kind of expanded. Martin's and family says he's close to the 49th parallel, I assume. So Mike's Homestead says, not sure people need to spend it. Trading it may be just as effective. Essentially, that is buying or selling it for fiat. I suppose. Someone smarter than me would have to definitely figure that out to verify that. I think the more it gets used, from my understanding, the more it gets used, the stronger it is. The more it gets used. Now, spending it, I'm not saying spending it out of Bitcoin into fiat, but making transactions via Bitcoin to Bitcoin transactions and the such. So could be off base there a little bit. So it poured rain. That would have been today's Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday night. Like poured rain. And it was for a short period of time. I would have loved to have had the gutters set up on the shed to catch the water. The gutters were set up. The piping was not. And I wanted to get out there because we're supposed to get rain this weekend. I think that hurricane we talked about that was forming, I think it actually turned into a hurricane and it might come on land this weekend. From what haven't been following it really that close because I guess it's not that big of a hurricane. But I think we're going to get a rain push from that. Reed's Rabbitry says, I did parent teacher night at the school. My kid's math teacher is into Bitcoin. I mean, math teachers would be the most logical person in the school to be into Bitcoin. But I saw rain on the forecast. I wanted to get at least the plumbing at least dry fit. The way I was going to run the plumbing, I could glue in some parts that wouldn't make a difference if they were glued, and they were actually the parts that would support the weight of the piping, and then the piping with the water in it obviously is going to be warmer. Pip says new studies show hurricanes are attracted to lithium deposits. Breaking news. Government wants the lithium. But I wanted to get this plumbing hooked up just to test out the how it worked. I got the screens up last week. I was going to glue them. I was going to use the Super 77. I talked about that. I did the test piece. Test piece worked great. But I think it was because it was short. It was easily manipulated and easy to work with. When I went to glue the whole length, it didn't sit tight to the roof curves. So the roof is like roof panels, like normal metal roof panels, and I would glue it, and I would follow the outline of the roof, and then when I would get to the next trough, it would pull up. So I struggled with that. I messed around with it. And then Corey suggested that I use, maybe we use some sort of tape or hot glue to tack it down, not necessarily for the permanent installation, but to tack it down a little stickier, it cured a little faster, because the Super 77 takes a while to actually set in. And so we were looking at the Lowe's, and I found some all-weather Gorilla Tape. The stuff is phenomenal. It's super, super sticky. But messed around with that a little bit. I was going to use that to tape down the edge and then use the glue. The way it stuck and reading about the tape, I'm going to see how it lasts. I can glue it down later, but this stuff seems pretty made for this job. It's a tape I hadn't seen before. I had seen a lot of Gorilla Tape. I'd seen a lot of duct tape and everything. This was almost like a rubbery coating, and it specifically was made for outside weather conditions, sealing things, and so I'll give it a shot. The thing about this project is it's a secondary, even a tertiary water collection source. It was just something that I figured as long as we had that shed out there, I could dick around with this and mess around with some ideas, because it wasn't a standard gutter install. So the whole thing is an experiment, from the making the gutters to the screen to the piping to the uses of the water, from the raindrop to the usage is it's all an experiment to learn. So I threw the tape up there, and I secured the screen, and it looks great. It's been a few days. We've had some rain. We've had a bunch of wind, and it's holding great. It hasn't peeled up at all. And so I went forward with dry fitting the plumbing. Put a video up on TikTok and Telegram groups, things like that. So basically, I brought if you've seen the design, it's 2-inch PVC pipe that has a slot cut out of it, and then it's inserted over the metal roof ridges. The water runs in the troughs, drops into the bottom of the PVC pipe, drains down to the corner, and it had an elbow on the corner, and that's kind of where it was when I got there yesterday. And I had I had all the fittings. I bought all the fittings to reduce down to, I think I went with a 1-inch, or 1-inch or 3/4 inch. I can't remember the smaller pipe. It's indifferent. It's all well big enough to handle the water flow from runoff from that roof. It's a small roof. It's I guess that half of the roof would be like 5 by 12. Not significant, not much at all. 40 gallons per inch is what it produced. if we get an inch of rain instantly, 40 gallons will be running down and trying to get through that pipe. And if you do the calculations out, that the flow rates, I was into a lot of that stuff when I was doing maintenance in factories, was pipe size and things like that. So it's plenty of capacity. So what I did, so I'm still contemplating my first flush system, whether I want to do a first flush with each side of the system, each side of the pitched roof, or if I want to do it together in one before it goes into the tote, where I combine them. Because I have two gutters that come down the sides, basically an elbow coming off them, and then I brought smaller pipe together in the middle into a T, and brought one pipe over to the tote and into the top of the tote. Now I have two options as far as a first flush. With the T, right now I just have a plug in the bottom of it. My intention was to have a 2-inch pipe coming down. I did the calculations, and the standard first flush amount for a roof in my area, depending on, and that depends on like tree cover and air particulates. Like, you got a lot of dust, you got a lot of dirt, you got trees coming down, you got all sorts of shit on your roof. There's different there's a kind of a sliding range of how much per square foot of water you should capture before you put it into your rain catchment, basically to catch the sediment and catch whatever else you got on the roof. I can capture enough for half the roof in about a 2-foot piece of 2-inch PVC pipe. So the volume of the inside of I think it's actually 2.5. I have all the calculations written in my notes. It's like 2.5-foot piece of 2-inch PVC. If you put a cap on both ends and filled it up with water, it will hold enough water to equal what the first flush should be on half of my roof. So my original intention is to have the water run down the gutter. It hits the elbow. I have a T below the elbow. I'll put the 2-inch piece of PVC pipe below the T. So as the water runs off, it fills up the pipe with the appropriate amount of first flush. And then as the pipe water comes up, then it spills out into the flow that goes into the tote. And then to drain that pipe to reset the first flush, I'm thinking about putting some sort of emitter, drip irrigation emitter or something similar that will slowly release the water out of the PVC pipe that's vertical. So as I was thinking through this, the reason I haven't decided, the reason I didn't plumb it in is because I want to test it, but it's too heavy to just dry fit that on there. If I put it up there and it fills up with water, it's or more ish, not quite. So it's like 8 pounds. And I have a feeling if it rains, that weight, if I dry fit it, will make it fall because it's hanging vertical. So I didn't want to glue it on because I didn't know if it'd work yet, and I wanted to think it through some more before I glue it, and then have to cut it apart and replumb everything. So I just put a plug in there. But basically what I started to think about was, if I put the emitter on the bottom of the pipe, the whole intent of the first flush is to capture sediment, to capture dirt, to capture dust, to capture shit that's going to accumulate in the bottom of the pipe, in the vertical pipe, where the emitter was. And so if I don't have a way to keep that from clogging the emitter, basically it becomes useless. It'll fill up with water. It'll probably drain out. It'll fill up with water, and eventually the sediment in the bottom will accumulate enough that it'll clog the emitter. It'll either cover it up or clog it or restrict it or something. And in the end, it's just going to fill up with water and hang there full of water, and it will serve no purpose. So I started thinking about other ways to handle that. There are first flush systems that I could set up on the basically have it all come together, and before it goes into the tote, I could use a capture system there. But then I want to keep it pretty simple, and so I thought about getting the emitter a little higher on the pipe. So basically, I'll have a reservoir at the bottom of the vertical pipe catching all the sediment. The emitter will be at the top. The new water will come in. It'll flush in. It'll sit. It'll fill that vertical pipe. It'll stop raining. Everything will settle down to the bottom, accumulate in the bottom. The emitter will be above a few inches. It'll drip out. It'll keep that little reservoir of water in the bottom, and the sediment, the fine sediment, will eventually accumulate in the bottom. And I'll leave a screw off cap on the bottom so that one day I walk out, I walk by, and I just unscrew the cap and dump the sludge out. That's the idea. I am going to, right at this moment, I'll probably do some testing. I think I'm going to set up some sort of testing where I'll put together one of these and do fake rain events, basically. Pour water into it, see what happens. Mix some sediment and solution, pour it in there, see what happens before I glue it in. I don't think I could get it to. I might be able to use some wire or some zip ties or something to actually install one of these on the system, and see how it performs when it rains before I glue it in. Or I could use a union. I don't want to have to dick around with plumbing again. I want to plumb it one time and be done with it. So, but anyway, other than that, it's all set up. Just waiting for the rain, waiting for some rain. I think we had a little sprinkle yesterday, afternoon, evening, and then we're supposed to get some going into the weekend. So I'm guessing I'll have some water in my tote by the end of the weekend. Hopefully it doesn't all fall apart. I think I have it supported enough. Most of the vertical connections that gravity will work on. Reed's Rabbitry said it should not union it anyway. Not really. I don't think. It would just be a 2-piece of PVC pipe hanging straight down. What would be the purpose of putting a union in it? So I could take it off? If I was going to take it off, I would just cut it off and put a plug in. I'm trying to think of why I would want to take it off other than that. It's not a replaceable. Reed's Rabbit's replaceable parts gets unions. It's not a replaceable part, though. It's a piece of 2-inch PVC pipe. It'll have a screw off cap on the bottom where it could be cleaned out. The emitter will be threaded into the side, which would be able to get screwed out and get screwed back in. But basically, it's a tube to hold water. I mean, I'll run through it about 700 more times in my head before I do anything, but I haven't been able to come up with a reason to put a union there. We'll see. I'm excited. Just got confirmation this morning that I got another shed coming from the same company. This one's going to be a little garden shed, like a 3x5, a 3x5. Oh, he thought it was like a pump. If it was a pump, it would have unions on both sides for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha. I got another 3x5 metal garden shed coming from them. This is more like a tool storage where you're going to keep your rakes and your shovels and all that stuff, which will come in really handy. Figuring out where I want to put it. This one is a little different than the big one I put in. that I'm putting the gutters on. This actually has a frame for the floor, and you only have to provide plank, basically, or something for the actual floor. You don't have to make a platform. It we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna get it in the. I'll get it in the FedEx. I'll get the instructions out and see what it says. But being 3x5, it'll be a hell of a lot easier than the 10x12. And I don't know if I'm going to carry this one all the way up the hill or just build it down in the nursery, which is at the base of the property at the lowest elevation and the least amount of carrying. So we'll see. Another shed coming out. I guess they were happy with my video and happy with my sales performance, and they want to send another shed. So rock and roll. Gonna have another shed coming out to mess around with. I don't know if that one will have enough roof. I'm not sure which way the roof slants on that one. Forward to back if it's a single pitch. Yeah, that's a single pitch roof. So we'll do something with it. That one would probably be a lot easier than plumbing in two together. But I'm excited to see the gutters work. I'm excited to be out there at some point when it's raining and actually watch everything going on and observe it. I don't have any. I guess I could carry a bucket of water up there and pour it on to watch it work, or just wait for it to rain. So that was my day yesterday. It was, like I said, it was nasty here, humid. It got really humid where the temperature was only in the 70s, but man, I was sweating my ass off. So I don't know what was going on there. And overnights, the last couple nights, it's been quite humid. Right after Corey and I were all excited because the humidity had dropped and it had been so gorgeous for like 6 weeks. Guinness Book of World Records. So I've been following some of these story feeds, basically news feeds, getting into some weird random facts, random history, just because that's something I've done since I was a kid. Since I would sit and watch Jeopardy with my dad and was fascinated by the fact he knew so much different shit about all different shit, all different categories, all different genres, random shit. And it's been kind of an obsession and I just like to learn shit. And so the other day, this thing came up and it said, do you know the origins of the Guinness Book of World Records? Do you guys know where the Guinness Book of World Records came from? Because I didn't. I've read it. I've had it. I bought a copy every year at the school bookstore or the school book sale thing, and I love it. It was very intriguing to me, and it's always fun to see what's in the book. Pip says 2 brothers. Yeah. So this story was pretty interesting. I'm looking for where I copied the notes to, because it was not here it is. All right. Pip says 2 brothers. Guinness Book of World Records originated in the early 1950s. So early 1950s is an idea by now. I read this and I was like, I got on a spoof website. I must have. This can't be real. They're making this shit up. And then I checked it and it was actually correct. Guinness Book of World Records originated in the early 1950s as an idea by Sir Hugh Beaver. Hugh Beaver, not Huge Beaver, Hugh Beaver. Good morning, Chris Dixon. Guinness drinkers started doing stupid shit and recording it. Originated in the early 1950s as an idea by Sir Hugh Beaver, then the managing director of the Guinness Brewery. The story goes that during a hunting trip, Beaver got into a debate about the fastest game bird in Europe. Realizing there was no definitive reference to settle such questions, he thought a book of records might be useful. In 1954, he enlisted the help of twin brothers Norris and Ross McWhirter, McWhirter, who were known for their expertise in facts and trivia. Those smart twins over there. They compiled thousands of records and published the first edition in 1955. Originally intended as a marketing giveaway, a gimmick basically to promote Guinness beer, the book quickly became popular, topping bestseller lists in the UK by Christmas that year. By the early 1960s, it had been published in multiple languages and sold millions of copies worldwide. The book's appeal grew over time, covering not only sports, human achievements, but also peculiar records, oddities, and extreme feats. In 1976, Norris, one of the brothers, holy crap. You ever choke on your own spit? That's fantastic. I love that when it happens. Norris continued Project alone after his brother Ross's tragic death. Since then, Guinness World Records has evolved, expanding to include television shows, museums, and even an official website to document record attempts worldwide. Today, the Guinness World Records brand remains iconic, with record categories ranging from human abilities to nature and technology, encouraging people globally to push the boundaries of what is possible. And there you go. There you go. Thursday morning, Guinness Book of World Records. Now you know. You can go and buy a Guinness and sit down and thank the Guinness Corporation for pursuing the Book of Records. So now we can sit and know. We can definitively know all the useless shit. Just a bunch of useless shit. Reed's Rabbitry over there talking about beer, bar hopping, and wondering how Noster thinks that hopping is a Norwegian word. Probably because in Norwegian there's a word that's Hopping. I guess. Maybe. But yeah, I never put the connection together, honestly, in my brain, that Guinness being the beer. I suppose I'm late to the game in that. It seems like people, Chris Dixon knew it. Pip knew it was two brothers, but did you know it was associated with the beer? I did not. So that was interesting to find out. The next thing I had on my list, and I don't know if I want to go down this road or not. I've been contemplating back and forth. It's John Palmer says he's never heard of the beer. Chris Dixon. It wasn't the Worcestershire brothers. Worcestershire. I had some thoughts and feelings yesterday. I had feelings yesterday, guys. I had feelings. As I peruse social media, looking into things to talk about on the show, staying informed with the world, checking on and posting for the new podcast. I saw all the shit going on. The post erection erections, basically. So both sides. It was actually three. It was three sides. It was a triangle. There was the people that were hardcore Trumpers. There were the big I'm with her crowd, and then the people that were just like, you're both fucking stupid. It was kind of disgusting, the level of how much it affects these people's fucking lives. I was pretty hardcore into politics a while back. You can ask my wife. when she met me, I was pretty big into it. I don't think that I've ever had an election affect me to the amount that these people are claiming on both sides. Like, seriously, there were people, and I don't. How do you profess the fact that your life, is instantly better because of election results? There were people literally saying that it saved their life that President Trump was elected. That the skies are going to open up, and it was like literally people were saying that Jesus sent Donald Trump to save America. Jesus sent Donald Trump to save America. Let that rattle around in your fucking brain for a little bit. Chris Dixon says, it was a meme meltdown frenzy. What an entertaining time to have the internet. It was. But the problem was it was disturbing almost how much effect Pip says, I'm going to wake up a slave now that Orange Man is elected. The side, the losing side was even more extreme. But the all in, the fact that folks take this shit at face value for what they say, still, what was the saying? You fooled me once, shame on me. You fooled me twice, shame on you. Chris Dixon says, that's how my coworker acted yesterday. Keep in mind, we're in Canada. Right. It's fucking amazing. But if she had won, there's people literally staying home from work because they couldn't deal with their life. Because some election happened that will likely make no difference in your day. It's especially, it will 100% make no difference in your day until January 20th when he's put into office. Chris says the brainwashing runs deep on both sides. Yeah. Mike's Homestead says, women in my office told me God brought Christians, Amish, Jews, and Muslims together for a Trump victory. I literally don't pay enough attention to know this, but is Donald Trump a Christian? Is there a lot of campaign footage of him going to church? Has he is he a man of God? I mean, he grabbed him by the pussy, so most of the things I hear him say, the sound bites and things, I don't know why that flies so good with the hardcore Christians. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump's been a Democrat his whole life until he wanted to run for president. Then he's friends with the Clintons. You know what Donald Trump is? He's a salesman. You know, he's an entertainer. What do you folks think of like a used car salesman? Good morning, Seattle says he is after a bullet took his ear and left his brain. Mm-hmm. John Palmer says he stopped being a Democrat in 2011. Huh. Is that when he ran for president? When they needed a storyline for an opponent to Hillary? Reed's Rabbitry says, I think we should, this is not my opinion. I think we should erect gallows in front of Capitol Hill and have barrels of tar and bags of feathers just around the Capitol, just as a reminder. They don't care. Pip says, I've known a few car sales dudes in my time, and damn, that's what Trump reminds me of. He might do a great job, and then here I am to say I don't really fucking care. He's going to do what he's going to do. If Kamala had been elected, she was going to do what she was going to do. John Palmer says, nope, he was thinking of running to governor of New York. Great. That would be a perfect place for Donald Trump, is New York. I heard that yesterday the governor in New York called New York State the bastion of freedom. If that's what freedom's like, I don't want to be free. I don't know. I don't follow their politics. I just see who they associate with. I know who he's buddy with, and Kabuki theater, guys. Kabuki theater. Illusion of choice. I would, unless you're a squirrel. Rest in peace, Peanut. Or a raccoon. Don't forget about Fred, the raccoon. Oh, man. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen, guys. Jesus saved us all. Jesus even saved the Muslims. What if Allah saved the Christians? What if... Oh, no. Nope. I just read that Donald loves Israel, so I doubt Allah saved Trump. I don't know. Geopolitics is such an interesting thing. But why do I even know? Why do I even know how the election is affecting you? Is it a badge of honor to be a fucking weak-minded piece of shit? A victim. I just answered my own fucking question. So much a victim society that even in a loss, we have to play the victim and show how much it affected us. Orange man bad. Where did he hurt me? I don't see the strength in a population that falls apart over a decision about the leader of the country. The leader, and the fact that they believe so strongly, and the fact that their life is going to change up and down. Where I was going is that we still don't know if Biden's still in charge, right? So as much as we went through the whole Biden, Sniffy Joe is insane. He's got Alzheimer's, he's got dementia, he's got all that. You haven't been able to convince me in a long time that dude is running this country. He is not the most powerful leader in the free world. He is not the head of the biggest economy on the face of the earth. He's not in charge of our military. You can't tell me that Joe Biden is making decisions on a daily basis that are affecting our country. He's basically shitting his pants and eating ice cream. And they're trying to keep him upright for the next month or so. 2 months, excuse me. 2.5 months. So how does this translate into this guy, this one person, this change? But he's going to bring in Joel Salatin and Thomas Massey and Elon Musk and who else? Sounds like a fucking episode of The Apprentice to me. Can all those folks get in the same room and work together? Or are they all mega hyper successful because they're egomaniacs and they need to work for themselves? I mean, I hope, don't get me wrong. I hope Joel Salatin and Thomas Massey and RFK Jr. and Elon Musk and they all get together. Hope they all get together and change the world. I hope they change the healthcare system. I hope they change the agricultural system. But it's a machine, man. It's a machine. Good morning, says Silos. They all can run a project. Sure. It's called management. I mean, I get it, dude. I really do. I understand. I've said for a long time that the United States needs to be run like a business. It's not set up for it, though. Principles over preference say that can he just snap a finger? Is this a corporation where Donald Trump will be the CEO and he'll have all his C-level employees making decisions and pushing things through? Or is there a whole process that it's going to have to go through? Repeal Obamacare. What happened to that? What happened to all the things that he got elected to on the last time? How did they all happen? Did any of them happen? Wasn't there a red wave the last time? And he had everything. They were ready, and they set the table up to have all three branches, didn't they? I don't know. I've seen the game before. I've seen the show before. It's like a fucking rerun every 4 years. Whether it's the show that's on CBS or the show that's on NBC or the show that's on Fox News, you turn it on, you see all the previews leading up, and the show disappoints, just like most fucking sitcoms and TV shows that are on now. They show you basically the highlights, and that's the only thing. Pip, yep, that's exactly what I was going to say next. Pip says, so about that drained swamp. Epstein client list day one. Hillary's going to jail. Hillary's going as soon as Trump goes into office, Hillary's going to go to jail. Mike Holmes. Oh God. Mike Somstead says he did not realize how deep the swamp was. Now he understands. Oh, he wasn't able to drain it because he couldn't get to the bottom of it. Now he knows. Now he's got scientists working on how to get to the bottom of the swamp, how to drain it. Martin family says it's not a lot different than the playoff season in junior hockey, eh? I don't follow juniors. I don't follow NHL anymore. I don't know. Juniors, do they stack teams in juniors? And then they show up and it's just a fucking shit show? I don't know. I don't know the reference between the presidential elections and junior hockey, but thanks for throwing that in there. I know I got Canadians in the chat when we're talking U.S. elections and we're bringing up hockey. I don't know, guys. I hope it happens. I hope the country gets better. I hope Massey and Salatin attack the Big Ag, and I hope RFK attacks Big Pharma and Elon, whatever he's going to do. Martinson family says exactly. It doesn't matter in real life. Yeah, no shit. I think the world was a better place when we actually had voting booths and curtains to draw, and people kept their opinions to themselves. And the people that wanted to be elected said what they stood for and what they were going to do, and people made their own decisions in their own mind and went in and cast their ballot, and the winner came out and said thank you very much, and they did what they said. Oh, did that never happen? DEI is dead. Dude, you're like a fucking walking talking point. So edgy. Trump's here to save us. Oh, boy. Anyway. Reed Rabbitry says, how many of the promises can they actually do? That's the whole point. Donald Trump protests break out in several cities. Headline. Donald Trump protests break out in several cities. This was from a little while ago this morning. This was funny. Chris Dixon, have a great day. Martinson family says it was the least bad choice. I mean, it is what it is. I was expecting to open this up and I was expecting to look and see a list of cities and see riots and see flames and all that fun stuff. Mike Holmes says lesser of two evils. Right. And then I read the story, and I was severely disappointed. Protests against President-elect Donald Trump took place in several cities across the country Wednesday. Blah 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 blah. Talking about Orange Man. On Wednesday night, demonstrators took to the streets in Chicago, New York, and Philadelphia to protest Trump's win. You got to read down into the article a little further. These were previously scheduled protests by Palestinians protesting the war in Gaza. We just changed gears. We were rolling down the fucking road, and we're gonna protest. We're gonna protest Israel bombing the shit out of Gaza, and then Trump gets elected, and we just throw her into fucking third, and we co-opt that bitch too. That's how that went down. And if you keep reading the article, they keep referring to how many people were at these protests. Dozens of people. What percentage of the population of New York City is it? Dozens of people. How about Chicago or Philadelphia? Dozens of people. Dozens of people stood around with signs and wasted their fucking time because nobody gave a fucking shit what they had to say. Basically, the rally was planned to protest the U.S.'s continued support for the Israel's war in Gaza, as well as what protesters called the racist reactionary agenda of Trump's incoming administration. Pip wonders, anybody remember the movie PCU? Fucking George Clinton in the Parliament Funkadelic. Fuck. Yes. During his campaign, Trump repeatedly said he would launch the largest deportation program in U.S. history in a second, as well as reinstitution his first-term policies such as remain in Mexico, limiting migrants on public health grounds, and severely limiting or banning entry of people from certain majority Muslim nations. Hey, Mike's Homestead, ask your coworker, your female coworkers, how much Jesus loves the Muslims to bring Trump in so that he won't let him in the country. I'd like to hear that roundabout conversation. Pip with a quote from PCU. We're not going to protest. Gunner is a tool. We're not going to protest. What do we want? We don't know. When do we want it? Now. Like, literally, do these people show up with fucking blank signs and write them up on the spot? Like, what are we fucking bitching about today? Oh man. Reads Rabbitry says, love thy neighbor as yourself with a fence in between. I mean, here's the deal. I think it was Thomas Sowell. Milton Friedman. Not sure which. Talking about economics and immigration. And it was pretty famous. You probably heard it before, but you can't have a welfare state and open borders. You got one or the other. And it makes common sense. It's just common sense. I'd be okay with the open borders if the handouts weren't there. But what about national security? Well, you kind of fuck that for yourself. When you go sticking your dick in fucking beehives, you're probably going to get stung. So at this point, how do you fix everything? You really can't. It's so ingrained. Everything is so spun up. To unravel it, you're fucked. Unless you use more government. Weird. It was almost like it was intended that way. We pick fights all over the world. We're the world policemen, which perpetuates the need for more defense and more aggression and more bombs. Oh, wait, what do they call that? The military industrial complex, self-feeding organism itself. Look at ag, look at everything set up through government. How do you unspin that? How do you unspin the commercial ag, big ag, industrial farming? All Good Morning City L says a collapse. Well, we don't need the fucking Donald Trump to have a collapse. And who do we think that Donald Trump's on a suicide run? I've heard it called the revenge tour. He ain't gonna burn it down. He's not. It might be inbound. The collapse might be coming. Martinson family, have a great day, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Be safe and enjoy the Great White North. Does he hit the self-destruct button? Will all the people that are comfortable in government hit that self-destruct button? Will they push through policies that'll bring the whole thing down? I fucking doubt it. So why do we need Donald Trump to do it? I would think that if Kamala Harris got elected, it would come faster. I don't think it's gonna. Orange man bad. Orange man good. We'll see. But no major riots yet. No major damage yet. I don't know. Will we save that? Good morning, Seattle says, right. Descent into Prison Planet or Freedom Revolution. Mm-hmm. Taker's Ride says the financial reserve is at a point where they need excuses to keep printing, otherwise the fractional reserve system. Well, of course it will. That's what it's built on. That's what it is. It needs to keep going or it'll collapse. It's going to slowly run out of fuel, and it will collapse. But who's on the suicide mission to make it happen? Or are we just going to drain the swamp a little bit? We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Like I'm not prognosticating. I'm just observing in real time and referencing what's happened prior. I have no predictions. I'm sitting back and enjoying the show. Realizing that yesterday when I woke up, there was a new president-elect. There were people losing their minds all over the internet. And I got up and went and did what I was going to do, regardless of who won or not. And hopefully all of you did too. Hopefully you woke up yesterday and said, oh, Trump won, and went and made your life better. Went and prepared yourself for things that could happen regardless of whether or Orange Man or Cackles won. Making your life insulated from either. Mike Homestead says, I wore a blue shirt yesterday. One of them said what a great day it was. I told them the blue shirt was my way of mourning, fired them up even though they knew my views. It's like, it's not even challenging anymore to get people stirred up. People are so ingrained. People are so vested that they've been convinced that this affects their day-to-day life. The shit's going to happen regardless of who's in charge. Maybe faster, maybe slower. Nothing, the end result is not going to change. So take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Take care of your communities. Build a life that doesn't fucking matter who's there. Enjoy getting up today. Be thankful you woke up and you were breathing. You can go to sleep tonight and hopefully wake up the next day and be breathing. Because one day that won't happen. And it doesn't matter who's in the White House. Even if you think it matters. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up. I'm going to get out of here. I got a bunch more interviews to do today. If you would go scroll down into the video description or the audio description if you're listening after the fact, and click on that link to listen to the Richard Walsh interview on Director Detour. I appreciate that. That was episode 2, came out yesterday. I got episode 3 coming out tomorrow. So swing down, hit the link, give it a listen, give it a review on Apple Podcasts, give it a subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. I greatly appreciate all the downloads and launching that show off. I think it's going to be good and hopefully very successful. We will see. Yet to see. That's all on me. That's all on me to make it as successful as possible. So I appreciate you guys listening. Share it around. Share it with someone you know. It might not be for you, but maybe someone you know would enjoy listening to it. Other than that, it's Thursday. Roll into Friday tomorrow, and I hope everything's going well. Hopefully, no riots, and everybody enjoys the online entertainment and has a great day. Guys, I hope you make it through. I hope everybody makes it through the second day of President-elect Trump being the president-elect and not being able to do anything anyway. Yeah, for sure, 100%. Hope you have an awesome day, guys, and we'll catch up with you in the morning.